Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done another tutorial video and even just a video on this channel. So if you're watching this, thank you for waiting, I don't know, like the 2-3 months since it's been. But yes, I want to do another quick explanation of a recent graphic I made for Stray Kids Cheese. I liked how it came out and I was just kind of putting a bunch of things together and I thought it might be interesting to show you guys how I did it. Plus I also had a fair amount of comments saying how cool it was. So thank you for those. But these were the two of the better ones that came out of that. So this Chan one was the actual first one that was completed with this style. And then this Hyunjin one also turned out pretty well. I won't explain every little thing as far as coloring because I have done those types of videos in the past, and as you can see over here on the side, there are usually a lot of layers to make things this colorful when originally it looked like this. So I won't explain that, but I'll explain the other process and then probably just speed up those layers. But yes, we can go ahead and start, and I'll also probably be referencing these two to make sure I'm doing things in the right order as we go along. But for a brand new one, I decided just to choose a random photo. I didn't get to do a supplemental one because he didn't have enough clear screen time in the teaser video, so I just have his Levanter teaser image from like 2 years ago or something. But yes, so first thing you want to do for this is I always make a bunch of copies of the original, so you can do this by Command J or Control J. You can just make a bunch. I don't know how many you'll necessarily need. You might delete some in the future, but we can just have these two, just the original and the copy, visible for now. So for this next bit, I think it was just to help sharpen the image, but I went to, with this selected, go to filter, other, and then high pass. This was like a new thing I found out the other day. You can play around with the settings a little bit, but I set mine at 2.1 and it looks really weird now, but you can just set, I usually set to overlay or soft light a little bit and then play around with the filler opacity for a little bit too. But it just, if you kind of look up closely, I know this is very pixelated, but it sharpens it just a little bit. So with that, the next one we will need is we're going to create, we need to cut out the subject. So for in this case, it's Hyunjin. So we'll take another layer copy and do select and then subject. And this should, like for this Sunmin one, it's pretty clear what the subject is. So as you can see, if we just take this away, once we create a new layer mask, it just deletes the entire background completely. There might be some cleanup here and there. I remember for the Hyunjin one, it also selected some of Sungmin and Jisung, and so you will have to clean up a little bit, but it does help with a lot of quick processes. So I'm going to clean this up real fast, and then I'll just put it at 2 times speed. It won't take that long though. Okay, so there we go, that cleans it up a little bit more. There might be just like a couple here and there that we'll need to fix again, but that's okay. And then with actually the layer of that has the background deleted, create another copy of that, and then we'll want to go to, we're going to add some noise to it just to add some extra texture to this, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Because before it looks like this without any noise, and I just thought it added a nice little texture and maybe a little bit of I don't know if like Instagram feel is the right word for it, or Polaroid feel, but I just like that little texture. But we'll go to filter, noise, add noise. So there is, I chose uniform and monochromatic, and at 56%, it is pretty pixelated now, but it won't be. Then I usually put this on overlay, and then the fill down to like 12% or something, I think is what it was. So then there's just like a slight green to him. And now that and since it's on the layer that has the background deleted, it's only applied to some of them in. So with one of the other many copies we've made, put this below the two copies that are with the background deleted, and then we're going to make the background a little bit more blurry so we have a more in focus subject and they kind of pop out a little bit more. So with that, go to filter, blur, and then motion blur. I just kind of like how it looks, but here you go, you can play around with the distance of it. We might go a little bit, yeah, we can go with that with 3. It's just how you want to try and mess around with it, but yeah. But now something that even looks a little bit more in front. And then one last thing we'll have is right above the motion blur layer, we're going to create this white object around to truly separate him from the background. So with that, I used a pen tool and just kind of click around it. It doesn't have to be neat or anything, but just kind of loosely trace and click. But I like the sharp angle, so that's what I'll keep, but you can kind of do whatever you wish. And then with all those, with a complete shape, make sure it's a complete shape around the subject, make it into a shape. And then for the hotkey, I just use U, but it's also the shape settings or tools. I do no stroke and then the center to be white, or fill to be white, not center. But then there we go. So that's how you kind of set it up for this. And then the next part is literally just coloring the rest of this in. So I'm going to go ahead and then just do that on my own. And if there's any important tidbit, I will slow it down again and let you know. 싶지 않아 내 전부를 걸었으니까 I can fly. Alright, so this was just a really quick little coloring I did for this, and again, I've explained this in like past tutorials, but like for the layer that made really everything like magenta, I usually mess around. I don't do this with GIFs because obviously like the subject moves within them. But I'm more inclined to use them for edits like this because you can play around with the layer mask. So I went to neutrals and took down the yellows, bumped up the magentas and cyans, and then went to the little layer mask over here and used a black brush and then deleted, I guess, in air quotes. I didn't destroy any pixels; they're still there. And made it so it wasn't applied to his face and hair, so they weren't magenta, and it was just I wanted his little like ascot, I guess, I don't know if that, or scarf thing, outfit matches kind of the magenta in the back, and just kind of played around with it. But yeah, that kind of is the short little tutorial. Remember, like, we started with this and you get like a whole different vibe with this. But yes, hopefully this helps some people out, and I'll see you all next time.